Dominica pledges commitment to supporting the continued development of the legal system. Government appoints focal point individuals in Irma-affected countries to facilitate transfer of nationals desiring to return home, and the Office of Disaster Management working out the details of shipping bulk water to hurricane-stricken Caribbean counterparts. I'm Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. The details after this. First up, the government of Dominica has pledged its support to the continued development of the country's legal system. The commitment was given by Minister for Justice Rayburn Blackmore when he spoke at the opening of the 14th Regional Law Conference of the OECS Bar Association. Blackmore noted that while several advancements have been made in the legal profession, there is still more work to be done.
Over the years, we have appointed more magistrates than ever in the history of Dominica. For matter of fact, I spoke to the Chief Magistrate recently, and she said to me she does not want any more magistrate. Can you imagine that? No, and we have appointed more lawyers to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. We have also improved the financial package of our magistrates and our attorneys within the Aegis Chambers. We introduced what they call an inducement allowance, because it is very difficult to be a trained lawyer and to work on the trying condition for small salaries. We have not gotten there yet, but we continue to work as an incremental process to ensure that we get to a level we need to get.
The OECS Supreme Court is celebrating its 50th anniversary, and Justice of Appeal Gertel Tom says modernizing and streamlining the processes of the court is among the development projects for that regional body.
One thing that Hurricane Irma has put sharply into focus is the pressing need for the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court to move away from a system that depends almost completely on paper and the housing and storage of documents in singular physical locations. This coming year, the court will be vigorously pursuing its e-litigation platform, which will take the court to the next level in modernizing and streamlining court processes. We simply cannot afford to lose more time in embracing this new court technology.
As a show of solidarity for the Irma-affected islands, the OECS Bar Association also established a storm fund to help the victims of Hurricane Irma. In other news now, Dominica will respond to the greatest need of its hurricane-stricken Caribbean counterparts through shipment of bulk water. Government has already stepped up to ship disaster relief supplies and bottled water to St. Martin, Anguilla and Tortola. However, aside from that, the Office of Disaster Management is working on the logistics to ship bulk water as well.
We're also trying to badge water into the area. We can either use a water badge, or we may have to use a badge with large containers. And there's another more modern system where you have these balloons that can be filled with water and placed on a badge and take up to the area. But that's one of the things. Dominica wants to provide as much water as possible because, you know, we have an abundance of water.
In the meantime, drinking water has been shipped to Irma-affected countries through the assistance of both of the island's bottled water companies.
The whole issue of sanitation has to be looked at, so people will need the water to bathe and to wash up and things of that nature. As soon as we are ready, we will notify the media.
And the government of Dominica has appointed focal point individuals in Irma-affected countries to help with the transfer of Dominicans who want to return home. A press release issued by the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs noted that government was facilitating Dominican nationals in French St. Martin and Dutch St. Martin, Tortola and Anguilla desirous of coming back home. The statement reads, and I quote, "This is in an effort to ensure the safety and well-being of citizens in the aftermath of Hurricane Irma as the affected countries concentrate on their emergency response and recovery efforts," end quote. People are being encouraged to contact the focal point persons in their respective resident countries. Those appointed are Clayton Felix in Dutch St. Martin. His number is 1721-527-6801. Maria Joseph, French St. Martin. Her number is 011-590-690-513259. For Totola, Joanne Azuz and Jasmine Bruley at J&C Trading. They can be contacted at 1-284-346-7009. And for Anguilla, Quincy Gums can be reached on 1-264-497-2976. Relatives of affected individuals are also invited to contact the following focal point persons in Dominica to help with the arrangements for the transfer of nationals. For French St. Martin, that is French and Dutch St. Martin, Athenia Benjamin. Telephone number 767-285-7774. Email benjamin.a@dominica.gov.dm. For Totola, Laureen Joseph, telephone number 266-3395 and 275-0680. Email scoprotocol@dominica.gov.dm. For Anguilla, Claudia Walters, telephone number 266-3224 and 276-7007. Email walterc@dominica.gov.dm. Government is said to have taken the decision to appoint these people to better coordinate the transfer of nationals in light of poor communication in those islands. Meantime, the Minister for National Security, Reuben Blackmore, is defending the move by government to discourage the mass evacuation of Dominicans from countries struck by Hurricane Irma. Following a weekend tour of affected countries, Prime Minister Skerrit said Dominicans forming part of the affected populations are critical to rebuilding those countries. Government is continuing to assist affected countries through the provision of relief supplies.
Well, the Prime Minister spoke to that, and I think some persons for political experience is trying to read into what the Prime Minister said, what he did not say. And I think this is a position the Prime Minister articulated that has been held by members of CARICOM and other countries, you know. So I think that we have to work with the countries to ensure that they get back. But Dominica is open for Dominicans, it's not so. So the notion that the Prime Minister doesn't want Dominicans to come back to Dominica, again, fit within, you know, the same kind of political rhetoric that's not going to help us to assist one person who was affected by Irma.
He says people must give serious thought to the plight of those affected, as anyone could be affected by disasters. Blackmore also noted party politics must not factor into discussions about the disaster situation.
Had we faced the reality of Irma striking us, the wind and the water will not be blue or red or green. We have to understand that. You see? So I've never seen blue wind or red wind or green wind. And then that the wind saying, okay, because I'm green or because I'm red, I'm going to hit a blue house. And the blue wind said, okay, the red wind said, okay, I'm going to hit all the blue houses. It doesn't work that way. It's okay to have a difference in political views. It's healthy. But it's not okay to use politics to destroy each other and to talk nonsense. And the Prime Minister never meant what some of the folks who are very reckless on the things that they say are now saying.
And the Minister for the Environment, Dr. Kenneth Daru, has echoed the sentiments of Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, lamenting the length of time it takes for small island developing states to receive financial assistance from developed countries in the wake of natural disasters. Addressing the nation earlier this week following his trip to Irma-affected countries, Prime Minister Skerrit noted that developed countries need to step up their game in providing financial aid to developing countries affected by natural disasters. At a contract signing ceremony for Disaster Vulnerability Reduction Project, DVRP, interventions in the Castle Bruce constituency on Wednesday, Dr. Daru said climate change waits for no man, and the international community should stop dragging its feet in helping smaller nations.
As it pertains to this really protracted and long processes that sometimes these institutions, and we know that they mean well, of course, the issue of accountability and all of this has to come into play, and we respect that. Okay, but we think it's high time that the process, becomes a bit more, can be both transparent and also be, be fast-tracked, especially as it pertains to the natural disasters, because these natural disasters wait for no man. They say time and tide, and I say climate change. Climate change that wait for no man.
The Environment Minister said, though the process is slow, it is still important to attend the international fora to advocate for assistance to the smaller islands in the wake of climate change-influenced events.
In my first tenure as a Minister of Government, I would have really placed a lot and be very vocal, travel the globe, representing Dominica at a number of these international fora and conferences to ensure that we, Dominica and other small island developing states, in the subgroup in AOCs of the United Nations, that we would have other voice at the table to ensure that a number of our vulnerabilities and our issues were taken into consideration during the Paris Agreement. It's 2 years now since the Paris Agreement, and it's more than, we spent maybe almost 2 to 3 decades, bantering over words, and so now, yes, this nice glossy document that we all signed, and and eventually we eventually had to go to the UN to officially ratify, etc. But all of this is good, but we need action, and we need action now. We need action 10 years ago.
In other news now, the owner of the Lovely One says it's unfortunate that the vessel has not made the kind of impact it should have made in the Dominican society. Neville Wade says the vessel, which has been in operation for the past 7 years, could do with a lot more support, as it has not realized the position it should have because of what he calls oppression. Since the vessel was completely overhauled in Grenada, Wade has been traveling between Grenada and Trinidad, but he says challenges with the high cost of operation have posed major difficulties.
But as the numbers grew, the billing also doubled from the authorities where we operated, much against what we had discussed with them for and so on. So around a month ago I decided to just stop the service to that area. Since they have officially asked me to come back and so on, but I don't want to do that way anymore. The lesson learned, the months we operated there, was too hard a lesson to learn, too difficult a lesson, too difficult the mathematics to rightly divide and understand. So I don't think I want to do that anymore. I am now doing a little service between Montserrat and Antigua.
Neville Wade, who has been involved in shipping for over 60 years, says it's time the authorities do the right thing where shipping is concerned.
Money for the continuation of the project and the completion of the project was allotted to it. That was never received. So it was really a project done through friends you meet, friends who liked it, friends who said that, but how can people not appreciate something like that, and opted to assist us. We put in 2 brand new engines. It came from the Czech Republic. I don't want to say how much they cost, but they cost a tidy sum that makes the value of the boat now over $3 million US. This boat, as you can see, can lend progress to movements of persons who want to go to different islands, movement of produce, because she's big, she can carry a lot of cargo also. You're not loaded with cargo as a pay to go, but the people who travel can have things carrying with them that will assist, in the whole voyage. And anything like that, of that magnitude, any business of that magnitude in a country is a project. I really want to start to advertise for our Creole Fest to see what we can offer in that line, in line of people to participate. And I still have my heart bent on Dominica, being a Dominican, but Dominica really doesn't offer what it should offer. It doesn't lend what it should lend. It doesn't balance what it should balance. Everything is just left to the individual.
You're watching Channel 5 News. Coming up, an update on the Roseau Primary School issue involving the transfer of Principal Roberts. Thank you for staying with us. An international political analyst from Venezuela is urging local media to look for the truth when reporting on the socio-political situation in that country. Earlier this year, Venezuela came into the spotlight as civil unrest and protest action in the country increased due to tensions between the main political parties. A few people also died as a result of the riots. However, a political analyst who spoke to the media at the request of Ambassador to Dominica Hayden Perella said following the National Constituent Assembly elections of 30th July, things have been more calm in the country.
Es algo increíble
It's something very incredible.
lo que ha pasado después del 30 de julio,
What has happened after the 30th of July,
cuando la mayoría del pueblo de Venezuela se expresó a favor
when the majority of Venezuelans expressed in favor of
de la paz
peace,
y votó a favor de la Asamblea Nacional Constituyente.
and they voted towards the National Constituent Assembly.
De pronto, las calles al día siguiente de la Asamblea Nacional Constituyente,
And soon, the day after the National Constituent Assembly,
cuando el mundo apostó de que iba a venir el verdadero caos y la guerra civil,
when the whole world thought that the civil war would finally come,
todos hemos visto que llegó fue la paz.
we all saw that what came was peace.
The analyst is cautioning the public to be open-minded to stories and images they hear and see from Venezuela, as the international media doesn't always paint an honest picture of that country.
Es difícil creer que los grandes medios internacionales van a resaltar la verdadera historia de Venezuela.
It is very difficult to believe that the international media is going to show the reality of what is being happening in Venezuela,
Porque ellos siguen soportando la política exterior de Estados Unidos.
because they continue to support the foreign policy of the United States.
Nosotros hacemos un esfuerzo con los medios de los países amigos.
We make an effort with the media of our friend countries.
Nosotros hacemos un esfuerzo con las redes sociales, los medios alternativos, los movimientos sociales.
We make an effort with the social movements, with the friend medias that we have.
Eso explica mi presencia aquí con ustedes.
This explains my presence here with you all today.
Y mi mayor agradecimiento es que ustedes hagan su papel y digan la verdad sobre lo que sucede en Venezuela.
And my greatest appreciation would be for you all to go and say the truth about what is happening in Venezuela.
Que no me escuchen a mí solamente, que busquen ustedes mismos la verdad.
Don't listen only to me, look yourselves for the truth.
The press conference forms part of Venezuela's Solidarity with Venezuela campaign, which culminates on Saturday. And parents of the Roseau Primary School have rejected the explanation of education officials to have Principal Greta Roberts transferred to another primary school. PRO of the school's Parent Teachers Association, Veronica George, says they met with education officials on Monday. The parents met at the Botanic Gardens on Thursday afternoon to further discuss the situation.
After days of protesting and asking to see the education officers, the people from the Ministry of Education, we finally got a meeting with them on Monday, and they spoke to us based on the way the transition was done and what happened. So based on that, we told them we would speak to the parents and tell them the outcome of the meeting that we had with them. Now we went back and then we would get back to them. We went and speak to the parents, but when we told the parents what transpired at the meeting, the talk we had, what was discussed, the parents say no, they don't agree. All they want the principal back. They do not want it. They do not want to hear that. They want their principal, and they will take action.
The action being contemplated is left to be seen.
They haven't decided, but that's what they're saying. They will take action. They want their principal back. The parents I know, many of the parents don't act, they just doesn't agree, and I don't think they will give up until they have Miss Roberts back. They will not give up because up now Miss Roberts is not at a school.
Channel 5 News has confirmed that Greta Roberts takes up the job at the Goodwill Primary School next week. When we tried to reach her on Friday, we found out that she was not at school. The meeting the Roseau Primary PTA executive expected to have with the Prime Minister on Wednesday did not come through. George says some of the school sponsors are disappointed in the manner in which Roberts' transfer happened on such short notice.
People that had the school well-being at heart, people that would give donations to the school have started pulling out. There was a man who was so well, he have his son going there, and there were things, but he take it away. Unless Miss Robert doesn't come back, he is not participating or bring any of his equipment or anything in the school.
The National Commercial Bank continues to invest in young people for future sustainable development. Just this week, the bank sponsored 11 students from secondary schools across the island for the 2017-2018 academic year. The bank believes it's important to contribute to their growth not only through financial assistance, but by instilling positive values in them. La Vida Liverpool of Girodel is the new addition to the NBD's scholarship program. The scholarship covers all essential school expenses. The students met with officials of the bank at a motivational session at the beginning of the school year. Staff of the NBD engaged students in discussion on various relevant topics, including being a leader amongst your peers, your choices matter, and money management tips. And a nice bowl of warm pumpkin soup was just what the doctor ordered for 26 students of the Kentfield preschool on Thursday. The meal was provided by the members of the Health and Education Committee of the Lions Club of Dominica. The club wants to ensure that as many children as possible enjoy a warm meal at school. This is just one of the many activities which the group has planned for the year. The Lions Club provided the school a fresh coat of paint in August. 4 students have been equipped for the school year with supplies donated by the club. 2 of them received the Lion Joseph Liebert Memorial Scholarship, while 2 others received school supplies and uniforms. And that's news. Next up, your sports highlights with Kenny Williams.
First up in sports, Marpin Sports sought feedback from some of the major contenders in the Premier League so far. Head coach of lead leaguers Promex Harlem United, Kelsey Charles, believes an early attack against Bathurst State could be the answer to maintaining their lead in the league. Charles noted that his players are equipped for the job.
Our game plan for this weekend game is to come out in the game, step out of the blocks early, trying to press Bathurst State as early as possible, a little bit physical, and then most importantly, trying to convert our chances as early as possible to get them on the back foot so that we could take control of the game and play our game as we're supposed to. Well, our goals so far for sure have been coming from multiple players, which we are happy about. That means different players are stepping up at different times to ensure that we get the goals to win the game. And we also have Randolph Peltier, who is there, who is one of our main goal scorer, and right now he's scoring goals, starting to get back in track, and then that will be a good thing for us. We'll boost the rest of the players and everybody can step up. That's the good thing about having different goal scorers, that anytime at any given time anyone can step up and get a goal.
Meantime, Northern Concrete and Steel Bombers held second place as of the end of the 3rd week of games. Coach of the Portsmouth-based team, Lester Geese, says the team will be looking to move up the points table, but will be playing without the assistance of their leading goal scorer, Erskine Williams.
This weekend will be coming up against the Kelvedal Exodus, and we are pretty much seeking to continue on our winning ways, playing the type of football that we know that we are capable of. But as you know, in sports, things do happen. So we just keep, if our game plan, we continue to train, hoping that these guys can stick to game plan, stick to the task at hand, and at the end of the match that we will victorious. Unfortunately, it's may not be for this weekend. Cannot be available this weekend. But he's definitely our leading goal scorer. He has scored six goals in 2 matches thus far. But having said that, the other guys are pretty much capable of leading the attack, and we just hoping that they will stay positive and take us.
And defending champion Central Cooperative Credit Union Dublin Football Club has not had the best start to their campaign, having a win, a draw and a loss so far. Coach of the Dublin team, Malcolm Bertrand, says the odds seems against them last year and they emerged victorious, so this is not the time to panic just yet.
Not our best start, but this is definitely not our worst start. Last season around that time we had lost our first 3 games and we still came back to win the championship. So I am not saying that we are all out of the woods yet, but we have 4 points on the table from 3 games, and it's not very bad. It's not our best, it's not very bad. Our last game, we lost our leadership on the park, we lost our focus, hence we lost the game from behind because we were leading 2-0 for most of the game. But going forward for our next game, we had our meeting, our team meeting. We had our discussions, and the team know where they fail, and with the senior individuals know what happened, what went wrong. So we're looking to correct that. Hopefully we'll have our leadership on the park. Everybody will pull their weight in terms of leadership, and we should be all right.
Moving on to basketball, where weather permitting, 3 games are scheduled in the 2017 Flow Premier League and shared between 2 venues. On Saturday, the action begins at the St. Joseph Hardcourt, where Intellico Security Service Raiders and the Lion Charlotte Chambers Thunderers will get things going in the first of 3 Premier games on the weekend beginning at 8 p.m. Thunderers won't get a break when they take on Detroit Blazers on Sunday at 6 p.m. That match will be followed by a clash between E.H. Charles Crossovers and Dr. Mark Prowlers at 8 p.m. Next up, we can tell you that Saturday Ballers edged out Harlem Vets 3-2 when the road to the finals narrowed in the 2017 Veterans Crew 40 and Over Masters tournament on Thursday. Single goals came from Davis David, Lester Guy, and Johansson Shillingford to give Saturday Ballers that all-important win. In a losing effort, Harlem's Kelvin Francis and Wayne Benjamin netted 1 apiece. Players of the game were Irving Williams for Harlem and Johansson Shillingford for Saturday Ballers. Finally, in sports, we can tell you that Green won the 3rd quarterfinals of the 2017 Tarish Pit Small Goal Football League on penalties. The game was intense throughout and finished 0-0 at the end of regulation time. A total of 16 penalties were kicked to decide the winner. As of Thursday's games, the qualifiers for the semifinals are Green, Ghetto Youths, and Young Purple. That's all the sporting highlights for now. I am Kenny Williams. Be sure to join us next time.
It's time now for your weekend weather report.
Good evening. Welcome to the weather report and forecast. I'm Viola Pascal. The infrared satellite imagery showed an area of multi-layered clouds to the east of the island chain during today, and that is associated with a westward moving tropical wave that is expected to move across the island chain during tonight and early Saturday. Further east of the Lesser Antilles, we have an area of multi-layered clouds that is associated with a very active tropical wave that is expected to develop into a tropical cyclone this weekend. This system is expected to approach the Lesser Antilles by Monday. The visible satellite imagery showed an area of cloudiness to the east of the islands with some embedded thunderstorms also associated with the tropical wave. Radar imagery showed that most of the shower activity today was to the east of the islands in association with the tropical wave. For tonight, expect an increase in cloudy conditions across Dominica with scattered showers and possible isolated thunderstorms. Persons in areas prone to flooding, landslides, and falling rocks are advised to exercise caution, particularly during tonight. For tomorrow, expect partly cloudy to cloudy skies with some scattered showers and possible isolated thunderstorms. For the marine forecast, seas are expected to be moderate, with waves peaking near 5 feet. For Saturday and Sunday, expect a few showers across Dominica with partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy conditions. By Monday, as that tropical system approached the island chain, expect a deterioration in weather conditions across Dominica with cloudy to overcast skies, thunder showers, and gusty winds possible up to tropical storm strength. Across the Caribbean, expect partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy skies with a few scattered showers. For the international cities forecast, expect partly cloudy skies in New York, Miami, and Beijing, overcast skies with showers in London, and thunder showers in Caracas. The sun will rise at 5:54 a.m. and set at 6:06 p.m. For further information, call the weather hotline at 447-5555 or visit the website at weather.gov.dm. Thanks for viewing. Do have a good weekend.
And to end the news, the headlines again. Dominica pledges commitment to supporting the continued development of the legal system. Government appoints focal point individuals in Irma-affected countries to facilitate transfer of nationals desiring to return home. And the Office of Disaster Management working out the details of shipping bulk water to hurricane-stricken Caribbean counterparts. Feel free to contact us at news@MarpinNews15thSept2k17. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris, and to our viewers around the world, thank you for watching and do have a great weekend.